Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture on electropneumatics. So in this video we are going to brief you and demonstrate the basic electropneumatic experiments. So to begin with, first we have an experiment which is basically a sorting device. So a sorting device is basically pneumatic systems where the parts which are coming on the conveyors are sorted with the help of pneumatic actuators. So here you can see there is 1A, this is the pneumatic actuator. So this pneumatic actuator in turn should allocate or should sort the parts which are coming from the conveyor. So the parts are coming from one end. So this is a roller conveyor. As the parts roll on the conveyor, the electropneumatic systems, that is, here the single acting cylinder has to push the components or the parts to the another conveyor. So this is basically, it is sorting. So for the sorting, maybe you need to identify the components. For that, you have different sensors may be used for the identification of the components. Certain parts need to be routed to different conveyors. Under such circumstances, you can basically make use of sorting systems. So here the problem is very simple. The problem is, with the push of a button, the actuator should extend its piston and it should in turn push this component. So this is the component. It has to push this component onto the conveyor. In other words, it is basically sorting the components to the conveyor. In order to accomplish this, the problem is we need to basically make use of electropneumatics in this. And we have been told that it has to be done with the help of the single acting cylinders. And for this problem, now I'm going to show you the solution. Now the solution for this problem is as follows. So here you can see there are two different figures. Both the circuit diagrams are the solution for the problem what we just now saw. So here the difference between these two figures is very simple. Here in this electropneumatic circuit is basically making use of 3x2 solenoid operated valve, whereas in this figure we can see it is basically a 5x2 solenoid operated valve. Based on the availability of the type of valve, you can either use 3x2 or you can either use 5x2. Now 3x2 can be used straightforward to control the single acting cylinder. So this is the single acting cylinder. You can see the spring. It's a spring return type single acting cylinder. Whereas in this case you have 5x2 direction control valve which is operated with the help of solenoids. But since the 5x2 direction control valves are basically used for operating the double acting cylinders, whereas here what we have in front of us is a single acting cylinder. So what we need to do is we need to convert this 5x2 solenoid operated direction control valve to 3x2 direction control valve. So how to do this? Basically we will be blocking one of the ports. So you can see here one of the ports is basically blocked. So we will see how to do this practically in the demonstration. Now the basic circuit diagram is very simple. It is a direct control of a single acting cylinder. So I'll take the same example here. So you have these are basically this is my compressor which is supplying the compressed air. This is the service unit. The service unit is basically filtering and it is helping me in regulation of the air. So here you can see the regulators, filters and regulators. This is both entire the block diagram represents the air service unit, and the output of air service unit is given to manifold. So this is my manifold. So this manifold will give me multiple outputs. So I just need one input in this particular circuit. So I'm using one of the output of the manifold, and that output of the manifold is given as input to my 5x2 direction control valve. Now the basic difference between pneumatics and electropneumatics is the actuation mechanism. So here you can see this symbol is representing it is actuated electropneumatically. So this is basically electrical actuation. So for this, what we are using is we are using solenoid operated valve. Now the solenoid operated valve basically requires electrical power supply. So for this, first we need to look into the electrical circuit diagram. So the way it works is very simple. So what we have is two polarities at the outset. So this is positive, this is negative. So entire the electrical circuit is basically operating in DC, that is, direct current. Now, in order to give the electrical connection to the solenoid, this is a basic circuit diagram. So here you can see the input, the positive, that is plus positive side of the system is basically given as one input to the switch. So this is basically a normally open type switch, which is named as S1. And the output of the switch is directly given as input to the solenoid. So this 1Y is the solenoid, which is there here. You can see this. So 1Y, and in the circuit also you have 1Y, right? So these are the basic nomenclatures. Now this symbol is basically representing it is a solenoid. Now how this works is very simple. So now right now in default position, the switch is open. The moment I press this, there will be an electrical connection. So the positive will be connected, and as a result there will be flow of current, and the flow of current will reach the solenoid. The solenoid, what it will do is, solenoid is basically an electromechanical actuator. So it will push the wall which is there inside the which is pushing the spool which is there inside the wall. So once the solenoid pushes the spool, there will be shift in the position of the wall. This shift in the position of the wall in turn will affect the output, what is coming to the actuator, that is the single acting cylinder. So this whole thing will be in the default that is energized position as long as I'm holding the switch closed. The moment I release the switch, the solenoid will de-energize. The solenoid de-energizing basically implies that the default position of the valve will be restored with the help of a spring. So you can see in this figure, so on one side you have a solenoid here, on the other side this is the spring, right? When the solenoid is actuated, the solenoid will push the valve to the second position against the spring force. When the solenoid is de-energized, the solenoid will come back to its normal position, and the spool will be restored with the help of the spring force, because spring force will oppose it and it will basically return to its normal position, right? So this is basically the simple working principle of the electro-pneumatic system. And the entire circuit diagram here is basically with respect to the direct control of the electro-pneumatic circuit, an electro-pneumatic system. There is something also known as indirect control, which we will look into in the subsequent experiments. For now, let us have a look at the physical demonstration, the experiment demonstration on the mobile workstation of the electro-pneumatic system. So let's go ahead. Okay, so here we are in front of the electro-pneumatic workstation. So this workstation is from Festo. This is basically electro-pneumatic add-on system, which is added as an accessory to the pneumatic system. Here we can see one is a trainer kit, which is an education trainer kit. This is basically a power supply unit, so it will supply the power to the circuit. Here you have these two boxes. So these have number of peripheral devices. So here you have switches for actuation. These are the switches. So there are 4 switches. You can see out of these 4 switches, the first switch is known as a detent switch. You can see the difference in the symbol. Detent switch basically means, the moment you press it, right, it will hold on to its position unless you press it again, right? That is known as a detent switch. And all the other switches are my push button type switches. These are all push button type switches. Now the entire electrical circuit basically operates at 24 volts DC. So in order to start, first you need to switch on the system. So in order to switch on, basically you just press this button. So you can see the light. So that means the system is active. Now here there are 2 sets of boxes you can see. The first set is basically comprises of the switch, right? There is only switch. So any switching action can be done using the first box. The second box basically consists of relays. So relays are basically used for indirect operation of the electropneumatic circuits. So for the first experiment, we will not be using the second box. We'll only be using the first box. So this is more than enough. As a preliminary setup of the electropneumatic systems, first we need to give power supply from one box to the other box in series. And for that, we will make use of the cables. So is first we will have to connect the 24 volts which is coming in this main power supply. From this unit, you need to supply the power to the second box. And in order to do this, I'm just going to give a connection to both the boxes. So these are the universal cables which we use. So they are color coded, as you can see. So red is for plus 24 volts, and the blue is for the ground. Next, I would like to also ground it. So the power supply has to be grounded. So I'll be giving connection to both. Now from the first power supply unit, I'm getting the power to the second box. Now in the second box, what I need is basically power supply which will be given to the switch, right? So from the electrical circuit, you can see the electrical circuit here. So the electrical circuit, as we saw, so this is my 24 volts, and this is basically my grounds or 0 volts, right? So from 24 volts, I'm giving input to one of the terminals. So let us say in this, I'm giving to terminal 1-3. I'm giving the connection to 1-3, and the other terminal of the switch is basically 1-4. From 1-4, I'm giving the input to the solenoid, and the other end of the solenoid is basically grounded. So this is the electrical circuit. Now first, let us configure the electrical circuit. So I have to take 24 volts and give it to terminal 1-3. So let me do that. So I'm going to take the 24 volts in this, and I'm going to connect it to 1-3, right? So next, from 1-4, I need to give it to the solenoid. So I don't have solenoid now, because now I have to first bring the valves. So as per the experiments, so if we see the component list here, so these are the components which are required. So you have to have single acting cylinders, the service unit, on-off valve, everything is already there on the board, on the profile, and then manifold is also already there. So either you can execute this whole setup using 3x2 valve, or you can use 5x2 valve. Now for us, the add-on system what we have, we don't have 3x2 solenoid operated valve. Instead, what we have is basically a 5x2 solenoid operated valve. So I would like to convert this 5x2 solenoid operated valve to 3x2 solenoid operated valve. So first, let us put the components on the profile plate. So in order to do this, first let me take the single acting cylinder. So single acting cylinder. So I have the single acting cylinder here. Let me fix the single acting cylinder onto the profile plate. So ensure it is firmly fit, so this doesn't move. So next, I need a 5x2 solenoid operated valve. So I'll be fixing this. This is basically a 5x2 solenoid operated valve. So first, let us finish the electrical system, connection of electrical system, then we'll connect the pneumatic part. From the circuit diagram, you can just have a look at the circuit diagram. I have already given the connections from the 24 volts to 1-3, and from 1-4, I need to connect it to my solenoid. That is what I'm going to do now. Just please have a look at this. So this is 1-4. I'll be connecting it to 1-4, and the output of that is given as input to my solenoid. So this is my input. The other end of the solenoid, so the other terminal of the solenoid is grounded. So I'm just connecting the cable, and in the board, I'm just grounding it. Right? Here in this board, you can see all the positive, these colors, it is basically color coded. All of these are shorted, so it doesn't matter for me whether I connect it here in this port, or in this terminal or in this terminal, as long as they are connected, it works fine. So they are all connected, right? Similarly for the ground also, they are all shorted, so it doesn't matter where you want to connect it. Either you can connect it here or you can connect wherever you want, right? So just to check whether your circuit diagram is perfect, what you can do is you can press this button. When I press this button, you can see this is the actuation push button. When I press this, you can see the light which is getting activated in the wall. So here you have the feedback. The feedback is visual feedback, visual information. So light, it implies that you are getting the solenoid is getting the power supply, right? So this completes the electrical portion of the circuit. Now all we are left with is the pneumatic portion. The pneumatic portions is very simple. So first what we need to do is we need to give the input to my 5x2 wall. So here you can just see. So this is my service unit. This is on off. So initially make sure this is off, right? So the output of this is given as input to the manifold. So from the manifold I can connect it to any one of the points, and then I'll give input to the port number 1. So you can see the port number 1 here, nomenclature. So that is the input. So next, the output is output of the wall, that is port 4 is given as input to the single acting cylinder. So this is my input, right? Now, however, this circuit is incomplete as long as I have this 5x2 wall. What I wanted actually was a 3x2 wall. So how to convert this 5x2 to 3x2? As I showed you earlier, what we will do is we will be blocking one of the port, right? So in order to block one of the port, what we'll be doing is we will be using a T connector. A T connector, we will just connect it like this. We'll short them, and the other end, that is from port 2, I'm just going to connect this. So this implies that one of the port is basically blocked. Now this completes the pneumatic portion. So now all we have to do is check whether our circuit works or not. So just press this button. Okay, so here we have a problem. The problem is, of course, we have not turned on the pneumatic circuit. So this is another problem. Basically, make sure that you need to switch on this. So I'm going to switch on the power supply, the pneumatic system. That is, this is a on-off system. I'm allowing the air to the manifold. Now I think the circuit should work, right? Yeah. So press it. You can see. So as long as I hold it, the cylinder will be in the extended portion. So this can be used as a sorting device. So if you have a component here, so a sensor may be used to actuate the switch, and a sensor may be used to identify the component, the presence of component, and the presence of component in turn will switch on the power supply to the solenoid. Thus there is a actuation. So this can be used for the sorting operation.